Miss Peaches.
Hello, Miss Regina.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good today.
Okay.
Much better than I have been doing, and I want to thank everybody for your well wishes. I was almost taken out with that little, I don't even know what it was.
Whatever it was, yeah, I could tell it was a serious bug. So we're glad you're back. I think they're glad we're back.
Yeah.
They've been waiting.
They've been waiting, and we appreciate your patience.
Absolutely.
Sincerely.
Absolutely. So I'm glad you're back. So what are we doing?
So this is episode 6
Of
Two Sisters Knittin Talkin Shit.
So here we are for our Black History Month episode.
Yes.
I mean, come on, it's us. We're in Atlanta. How are we not going to do a Black History Month episode? It's February, so that's what we're doing. So we got a lot of really neat stuff for you. We've got some stuff we're going to share. And we'll talk about the cocktail for today.
It's another good one.
Thank you. It's a whiskey sour, so we'll talk more about the whiskey we use because that ties to Black History Month.
Yes, yes.
And then, of course, we're going to talk about what's on and off our needles. Do you see what I see? A scarf,
blowing in the wind.
let it bring me goodness and life.
Let it bring her goodness.
And life. There it is.
There it is.
So we'll talk about that. Y'all know what it is already because I've been on it for the last 4 episodes. But so we'll talk. That's what's off my needles. But we'll go back into that, and we'll talk about what's on our needles. We've got a new session. We've got a new segment called Our Obsessions. Even though what we're doing is an obsession, but we might have obsessions that have nothing to do with knitting. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that.
Right. And the KnitShits might have some obsessions that have nothing to do with knitting too.
I mean, we all do.
Or crochet or making.
We all do. We all do. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then we'll talk about what are the KnitShits saying? What are y'all talking about? What questions are you asking?
Yes.
There's a lot that you've shared with us over the last few weeks. So we'll talk about that.
Yes.
And then we'll end with a closing question. It will actually be a statement that you'll be asked to finish. And we'll wrap up episode 6, the Black History Month episode of Two Sisters Knittin Talkin Shit.
I like it. So Regina, our master mixologist, or our mistress of ceremonies today, has a fabulous cocktail.
Well, this is a whiskey sour, and what we don't have in it are the egg whites. You know, eggs are too expensive. I ain't buying no eggs.
Yeah. Just
to slosh around and make froth for a drink. So no egg white, but that is what kind of a traditional whiskey sour would have. It would also have a cherry. Ours don't have a cherry, but it's got plenty of Uncle Nearest whiskey.
Yeah.
And so Peaches will talk a little bit about Uncle Nearest.
So I should have brought the bottle. Cheers.
Cheers. You're
That's
as smooth
delicious.
as Tennessee whiskey.
So Regina has a beautiful voice, as you all can tell. Mine isn't quite up to par today.
When I drink, I sing.
So we drink, we know things. We drink, we sing. But Uncle Nearest, his name is Nathan Green. And he was born back in the early 1800s in Tennessee, in a holler in Tennessee, in Lynchburg, Tennessee to be exact, and was the whiskey master, if you will, for one of the distillers there in Tennessee, and was known throughout the area because of the skill and the quality of the whiskey that he produced.
There was some technique that had to do with the carbon and
right, and the chilling of it in the barrels.
Yeah.
Over coals. I think
that's
that
what I
came
meant.
out
Coals.
of the coal mines in that particular area.
Yeah.
And he actually, and he didn't really mentor, but we'll just say he mentored Jack Daniels, the man who was known as Jack Daniels, although that wasn't his real name either. But when he was a little boy, his family moved into the area, and he kind of did this little apprenticeship under Uncle Nearest, as they would call him. And then Jack Daniel branched out on his own, bought the distillery, and several other distilleries in the area, became huge in the area. But there's so much documentation of the relationship between him and Uncle Nearest. And so Uncle Nearest whiskey has been around for about 7 years now. And when I say it is top notch, it is top notch.
It's won awards every year in the, whatever the awards categories are for whiskey. It's known as being the only historic distiller and the first and only distiller, black-owned whiskey distillery in the world. Yeah, and now it's available in all 50 states and several other countries. So get these Uncle Nearest. This is the which one did I use? I used the premium small batch.
And when I say that bottle is gorgeous,
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's a work of art, literally a work of art.
On the website is a fantastic little film. It's about 20 minutes.
Yes, it is.
Starring Jeffrey.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright. I was going to say, why can't I think
actor.
of the actor Jeffrey Wright, who, in my opinion, is like the Black Ben Kingsley.
Yes.
He played King. He's played Jean-Michel Basquiat. He's played Muddy Waters. He's just a master thespian and actor. And so he narrates and tells the story of Uncle Nearest in this beautiful film short on the website. So check that out.
Check that out.
So that's what we're drinking.
That's what we're drinking.
Whiskey sours.
And every day or every episode, we've had these little... Don't laugh, Regina. Don't laugh. But I was trying to teach myself to crochet. So Tony Lipsy, I'm looking at you and I'm shouting you out. I taught myself from one of your videos how to do a little crochet. I'm not a crochet, I'm just a baby crocheter. And I made these coasters. And so every episode I keep wanting to... So anyway,
that's
I was
off
looking
her
down. That's off my needles. So I just had to call you out, Tony. One of these days, I'm gonna learn to really, really crochet.
Look, and we're using that for we've used it for every drink.
For every drink,
every drink. I'm making watermarks on the table. So hey, let's drink to that.
Let's drink to that. Cheers.
Smooth.
Not smooth.
Smooth.
I'm
gonna have another.
This is good. And this is gonna knock the rest of whatever this is. Have out. And
let me just also say though, don't spit on the yarn, but let me just say, this is a basic whiskey sour. It's fresh lemon and lime juice, freshly squeezed. In fact, there's pulp swimming around in mine. You don't want that necessarily, but
and it's about equal parts.
Equal parts, lemon and lime juice. I made a simple syrup using a Turbinado brown sugar, which is equal parts sugar and water. You don't boil it, you just warm it until it melts, until the crystals melt or dissolve. And then the Uncle Nearest, which is the star of the drink.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to be back. Episode 6.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right.
So, Regina's got some exciting news. We were going to talk about what we're wearing.
It's like I do.
What's on and off of our needles? Yes, you do. You alluded to it in the introduction.
Well, do you see what I see? I finished this open air wrap, Pearl Soho open air wrap. The yarn is linen quill and crocus bud, and I love it. It is so diaphanous and flowy and feminine and flirty. You know what? When I wear it, it says, I am spring. I am love.
All right now.
It makes me want to do my spoken word. It is so amazing. So a number of you mentioned that you like the pattern. You're going to make it. Of course, I'm making many in all of the linen quill that I've acquired over the last few weeks.
Well, it looks fabulous.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
What a sense of accomplishment.
Yes, quite a sense of accomplishment. I am spring, honey. I am love.
All right. I feel like I need to get a cigarette.
Right. Well, you got a drink.
I know I got a drink.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. And we just need to be in a smoky room.
We do.
Mood lights.
Yes.
All of that. Because she is
love.
Well, very good.
Yeah. So I can go ahead and talk about what's on my needles.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I don't think I showed this. This is another. Look, I'm gonna be knitting these forever. So I've started a second one in super orange. Same thing. It's the open.
And that color reminds me of Gigi Mason.
Yes.
You know, that Gay, her favorite color
is orange. And one of my favorite colors is orange. And she reminded me of that when I was going through her Instagram. I was like, you know what? That orange looks amazing on her. And that's one of my colors. Let me get me some orange. And that's what I did.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So you're going to go and then I'll talk about what's a new acquisition, or how you want to do it?
Sure. So I don't have anything to show you all off the needles. I've not really been knitting very much over the past week or so. I went to New York for work, for a work event that I'm helping someone with, contracting work event. So I do just have to show you, I've made some progress a little bit on the sweater that I was knitting, Julie Hoover's Collins sweater. So it's knit in pieces, which is old school, and I really do like it. So this is the back.
Before?
I've not made this before, no. And so this is the back, so it's coming along. I'm gonna pick it back up this week. And it is knit with good wool, Pearl Soho's good wool. And I don't remember the color right now. It's some kind of blue, but I'll list it all in the show notes, so you'll see that in the show notes. That's coming along. And then for my mentor, Loretta Ross, who I mentioned on the podcast, our last episode of the podcast, who wrote the book Calling In, that was released on the 4th of this month. Nice. So that's a great Black History Month celebration, celebratory
thing to celebrate.
Yeah. And so she's on tour right now. If you have an opportunity to go to the book signing and grab a copy of the book, I would definitely encourage you to do that. But she's up in Massachusetts and said that she had left all of her, because Atlanta is home for her, she left all of her turtlenecks and things here in Atlanta. So I asked her what her favorite color was, and she said teal. And so this is Malabrigo Rasta. It's a super chunky wool. And this is the Dauntless scarf by Vincent Williams. I know that something that's really popular now is the Sophie scarf, a petite knit scarf. Well, this preceded that. And so this is the Dauntless scarf. It's really an easy knit. It's great for beginners if you've not done much knitting before. And so that's
It's garter on both sides.
Right.
I mean, that's what garter is.
That's what
It's on
garter
both
is.
sides,
So it's just knitting.
Mm-hmm.
Every stitch for the most part. There are a few pearls in here, but for the most part it's just straight knitting. So it's beautiful. So that is what is on my needles.
I bought this, by the way.
You did?
I saw you post it on our Instagram, and I was like, I want that, so I got it too.
Well, you'll
I'm gonna
like
start
it.
So these are the 10 and a halves?
So these are the 10 and a half
And you
needles.
know what? The Child Goose set does come with 10 and a halves.
It
So,
does.
Yes.
So you have them.
I have them.
Okay, good, good, good.
Yes.
And then I've got some acquisitions, so I don't know if you want to do your acquisitions first.
Yeah, so.
Excuse me.
And this is not a recent acquisition. This is something I've had for a while. I think the last episode I showed the Simplicity scarf that I'm working on, and it uses a Pearl Soho Echo Cashmere yarn, and so I'm making another one in another colorway. So this is, I'm holding it double, and I don't remember what this is. So I'll have to go back and look, find out what colorway this is. It's some kind of mohair that I think I got at the Craftivist here in Atlanta. And then this is the Echo Cashmere in, what's the color? Flower Sack. And so I'm gonna hold these together, and it's going to yield a really beautiful, muted, not elementary scarf, daily. Is it daily? Is it the daily scarf or the elementary scarf? I think it's the, is it the elementary scarf?
I thought it was the
Simplicity scarf.
Simplicity. Okay.
It's the Simplicity scarf.
That's what happens when you have multiple whips going.
It's true. It's true.
It's hard to remember what's on the needles.
Yeah.
So since our last episode,
It's a lot of yarn.
I've got some yarn acquisitions that I've made, all from Pearl Soho. So I'll share those with you.
That's Echo.
They were having a sale. So this is the Echo Cashmere as well, which is 95% recycled cashmere and then 5% other fibers, it says. And the color is royal purple. So I'll put that up to the camera. I am going to make a hat, another hat for my brother. He's an Omega and asked for a purple hat. And I couldn't find the right shade of purple, but I think this is really close and he will like this. But I believe this is gonna be the Oslo hat, another Oslo hat. I've made about 8 or 9, maybe 10 of those. Real simple to make. It's a petite knit pattern. So I think that's what this is gonna be for.
And if I know my Omegas, any purple will do. Any purple.
And he loves the hat that I made and sent him, and my sister-in-law too. They both sent me pictures, so I may post those up on our Instagram so you all can see that. The other yarn that I bought is Simply Yak, which is 100% yak yarn, Pearl Soho. And this is in the color Natural Taupe. So both of those are the Natural Taupe colors. And I believe I will probably make a hat out of these as well. I haven't decided what pattern I'm gonna use, but this feels good. It's not.
It is nice. What is
quite
this?
as
Simply
soft.
Yak. Okay.
Simply
let's see
Yak.
this.
So it's 100% yak. And what is a yak, like a buffalo kind of sort?
I think so.
I think so. I think I've seen that animal looking at the picture.
But I like how it feels.
But it feels nice.
It does.
It's close to cashmere.
Yeah.
But not obviously cashmere.
Yeah.
And then the other yarn, I bought one of several colors. These are all the same. Pearl Soho Plein Air, which is 67% wool and then 33% organically grown cotton. And I know I have knit several wraps for my mom. And so I think that these are gonna make up a wrap for her. Most likely the Saturday, not a wrap, I'm sorry, shrugs. Most likely the Saturday shrug, Jackie Rose's Saturday shrug, because I've made a couple of those for her. So let's see what colors these are. The first color is Tawny Owl, which is this one, which is kind of like a camel-ish color.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. And so it's going to be striped. This other one, Sweet Apricot. I need glasses, y'all. Well, I have glasses, but I'm vain and I don't want to wear glasses. But this one is called Sweet Apricot. A beautiful, muted, orange-ish color. And then we have, help me, Regina.
This is Pink Dusk.
Pink Dusk. Here.
And this is Heirloom White.
And that's Heirloom White. So it'll be striped, and I'm not sure how I'll do the stripes. But anyway, that's what these are.
Should I hold mine close? Like I didn't do that, so should I do that?
Yeah, do that so folks can make sure that they see it.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is the one I don't know what it is. I gotta tell you. In the show notes, but it's like
It's beautiful,
a
the
mohair,
colors. It's
yeah.
like it almost reminds me of like a, not tweed.
and this is Flower Sack in the Echo Cashmere.
Perfect. So we've been busy. And you know what?
Busy buying.
Can I just tell you a funny story?
Sure.
So the other day, I got back from New York on Saturday, last Saturday, and then have been mostly prone in the bed since then. Friday was my first day out of the bed, and I went and looked in the mirror, washed my face, and the person who was staring back at me, I was like, who is that? For the first time ever, I saw an old lady looking at me. And just for a hot second, so have you seen that illusion of the young girl? She looks like probably like the 1920s, depending on how you look at this illusion.
Oh yeah.
So she looks young one way and then looks like this haggard.
Yeah, you have to kind of change how you view it in order to see the other.
Right.
Yeah.
And I saw the haggard old lady, and I was like, who is that? Staring back at me in the mirror. I'd never seen her before. I guess I'm gonna have to get used to her, because really, it was like for 5 seconds.
It was wow.
Like,
it happened.
it happened. And I was like, ooh.
Well, just like you said, the image that we know of, where you look at it one way and it's a younger woman, and you look at it another way, it's an older woman, it works for this too.
It works for this
Depending
too.
on the way you're looking,
Yes.
might dictate
Yes.
what you see back.
Yes. Oh, and one more acquisition to share.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So something old, which is not an acquisition, I was going through some drawers at my mom's house, and I found this book. I wish it had a year on it.
It looks so 80s.
But
the
I
imagery
told you all in one of the episodes that I had knit
for
for
your
my
boyfriend
boyfriend.
at the time. Yeah.
a sweater. So this is the Burnett Irish Knits book from when I was in college.
Yeah.
And on the back is the cable sweater, the fisherman sweater that I knit for him in the back. So I found this in a drawer, and it really did.
The book is very 80s. The pattern, no, not so much.
The
but
pattern,
book,
not so much, but
Yeah.
the book is very 80s.
very 80s.
And I found in here, just as fun trivia, my college resume, my
Wow.
commencement program. Can you believe it? Commencement.
Wow.
That's hard for you all to see, but this is my commencement program. And our last chapel program. This is from May 16th, 1986.
Wow.
So a piece of history.
Wow. 39 years ago. Wow.
You didn't have to say that.
Well,
but
we can count. We can count.
I know, I'm like, OMG. But that makes me see that old lady in the mirror in the screen. But I bought this book right before I went on my trip to New York. 52 weeks of scarves, beautiful patterns for year-round knitting, and it's a Lane book. Shawls, wraps, collars, and cowls. And so I think I'm going to use this to knit some sweaters, not sweaters, but to knit like something like this. This
Some
is gorgeous.
shawls
Some
and,
shawls
and scarves.
and scarves.
I thumbed through that book.
gorgeous?
I'm going to get one. I love it. I
It's
don't know that I love
beautiful.
all of the designs, but many of the designs are really fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you don't have to love them all.
No.
Yeah. Now this one I saw in the store. They had this one as a sample. It's 18 wildflowers. I'll hold that up
Beautiful.
so that you all can see that. And they had this as a sample. I went to the Craftivist in the store, and it is gorgeous. And so that is what led me to the book, because I was trying to figure out where this pattern came from. So I think I'm gonna make it, and whatever material they used was just beautiful. So this is another acquisition.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Very nice. Got some good stuff.
Yeah. So that's that. In terms of acquisitions, in terms of what's on and off of our needles.
Okay, so I mentioned that we might discuss some of our new obsessions.
Mm-hmm.
And my newest obsession, so you know, and I think I've said this before, I am very new to these YouTube streets
Mm-hmm.
and this these Instagram streets, the whole thing. I have been on social media, but not heavy. I was a heavy Facebook, but you know, not much anymore. And so since we've done this podcast, I've become more interested in what other channels are out there. And
Mhm.
obviously there are some amazing channels related to knitting. And we'll
Yes.
talk about a few of those. One in particular that really helped us to kind of blow up our subscribers.
Right.
But I want to just highlight my obsession and how, and if you're a Gemini, then you know that our obsessions come and go. And so in true Gemini fashion, I am obsessed with this cooking channel. Well, it's so much more than a cooking channel.
Listen, every time I talk to Regina, girl, I just finished watching a new episode of
Just Be Cooking. Oh my God, I love her. This is a young lady out of Texas. She's a mother of 4, and she is a stay-at-home mom, and she's doing this channel where she's making dinner and breakfast and brunch. She's cooking for her family, and she even goes shopping, and it is amazing. And it's very simple, nothing super complicated. She's got great recipes. She's got an amazing following, and I'm right there with her. The recipes that she cooks up are just, they just make the screen sizzle. And what I love about her is she ends every episode in the same way.
Uh-huh.
They're sitting at the table, all 6 of them. She is not in the frame. Everyone else is in the frame, and they're all just eating dinner, having conversation. That's how she ends every episode. And just so you know what a rabbit hole is, and I know you already know what a rabbit hole is, this thing sent me down a rabbit hole. There was a song that I heard playing on several of her episodes, and I was just like, what is this song? It was like an earworm.
Mhm.
So I had to figure out, what is this song? So the song is called Ice and Fire. It's by this Australian supergroup, which is to say that these are all musicians who are known in their own right aside from this group, but the group is called King Canyon. And the singer of this song, Ice and Fire, the lead, is a brother who calls himself Son Little.
Okay.
And he's out of like Philly, I think. And so I'm listening to this song over and over. So now I got to read about the group in Australia and all these, the bass player and the drummer and the producer. And then I've got to read about Son Little. And then I've got to go watch his performance on NPR's Tiny Desk concert. I was down the rabbit
hole.
I was down
jumped in feet first.
Yes,
like
in the rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
But it was amazing, and I love it. And this song, check it out. Ice and Fire, not Fire and Ice. Ice and Fire. It's like a reggae, blues, R&B feel. It's amazing, and I have listened to it every day for like 3 weeks.
Okay.
So that is my new obsession. Just Be Cooking and King Canyon.
Yeah, and it's Jess, J-E-S.
Jess, J-E-S-S. Just Be Cooking. Check it out.
I love it. I love it. Well, I don't know that I have obsessions, as it really is more crushes. So I have 2 YouTube crushes.
Oh.
And they are cooking related channels too. Both of them are vegan cooking channels.
Mm-hmm.
So my newest crush is Derek Sarno, and his channel is Derek Sarno. And he's has owned several restaurants in the course of his career. I mean, he is a professional chef. But the thing that I think that I really like about his channel, and he's from the States, up from New Jersey, I believe, but had lived over in the UK for a number of years and has just relocated back to the United States. And I think the thing that I really like about his channel is that his cooking is so simple. He teaches you tips and tricks of how he has cooked as a professional chef. So he makes a lot of one-pot dishes.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't use a lot of fancy equipment, much like Jess doesn't use a lot of fancy equipment, but it's just good cooking.
Yeah.
And he's got the sweetest dog, Miss America. Her name is Frankie. But he calls her Miss America, and the relationship that they have is so sweet. So that's Derek, D-E-R-E-K, Sarno, S-A-R-N-O. So he's one of my YouTube crushes. Derek, if you're watching, hey.
Hey, Derek, you know what?
Let's toast to that, because he may.
Hey, Derek.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, Jess, we want you to shine.
Absolutely.
Well, you already shining, girl.
Be.
You shining.
And then the other cooking channel that I have been crushing on for at least 4 years now is Will Young, Y-E-U-N-G, of Young Man Cooking, based out of Canada. And I think the thing that I really like about his channel is the cinematography. There's not a lot of background talking, really, on either of the channels. They really kind of get right to it. But Will's channel is aesthetically, just the aesthetics of his channel. And whenever he shows you his spice cabinet, it is to die for. The organization, I'm just like, my goodness, I'd love to come and sit in your kitchen. In fact, I used to talk about his channel so much. When my niece was here in school at Spelman over the Christmas holidays after her freshman year, because I used to share a bunch of his recipes with my niece and nephew who were in school here in Atlanta. She bought me one of his cookbooks, and I have tried a number of recipes in his cookbook. But he's got a great channel too. So those are my 2
YouTube crushes.
My 2 YouTube crushes.
Well, when I get more familiar with these streets, I'll probably have some crushes too. So those are obsessions and crushes.
Obsessions
I love it.
and crushes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about what's up with the KnitShits. And I've got quite a few folks I want to shout out, but not before shouting out the grocery girls.
Yes, grocery girls knit. Tracy and Jody.
They shouted us out in, I guess, their latest episode, and it just brought so much joy to us to find out that they derived some joy from us.
Absolutely.
And so much so that they wanted to highlight us in their mega verse.
Yes.
So that was awesome, and
and
also
so many of our new KnitShits
are coming from. I mean, they're identifying the grocery girls as having led to them coming to our channel. So
Yes.
it's been really amazing, and we are eternally grateful for that. And they also highlighted losing my knit, which is Jeff.
Yes.
And we've become fast friends with Jeff, who also went on his channel and kind of gave us some shine too. So I love this community, how we love to shine a light on each other.
And people can be in different cities, different states, different countries.
Yeah.
Really just different parts of the world. That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I think about the internet and the interwebs, as they say.
And they are. I mean, that's the other thing. The KnitShits, I think I wrote down, you know, we have a pretty good following from Australia.
We do.
And New Zealand, all over Canada, and the UK, and then of course all over the US. So I'm going to highlight a couple of the comments that have come through on our channel. And before I do that, I want to just shout out Aphrodite Johnson. She has really engaged us in the comments, and she wants us to do a retreat. Okay, Aphrodite, we hear you, and that is likely coming.
And I would say, like in all seriousness, maybe in 2026-ish, 2027.
I'm going to say it's likely coming.
Yes. Soon, in the future.
So Aphrodite, that is, we're right there with you, and we agree. A retreat would be a really nice way to get this community together. Janet, I think it's double or double. She called us peaches and cream, and I just had to say, how awesome is that? Karen Wings and another subscriber, Alice Cham, they wanted to know all about my jewelries. And so these are bracelets I've had for many years. The beaded ones are, this is Zulu beadwork from South Africa. I bought these in South Africa over 20 years ago.
To the screen.
Thank you. I was going to.
Okay.
So these are from South Africa. Alice Cham was asking about my sterling. She said that she wears a lot of sterling. Believe it or not, these are different designers. I have worn sterling and gold and have adorned since I was young. So I've always loved to have a wrist full of bracelets. And so Ippolita, most of these bracelets, particularly the ones with the stones, are from Ippolita. She's an Italian jewelry maker. And I got these at her trunk show probably 20 years ago. And then some of these others, I don't even know the origin. I've collected them for so many years and have bought them at marketplaces in Los Angeles, in Africa, in Arizona. So wherever you can find really fine craftsmanship in sterling, these are from all over the place. So thank you, Alice Cham.
I love it.
Yeah. So Carolyn Lambert, she's in Australia. And
hey, Carolyn.
Carolyn, you made a comment I read it one Saturday morning and almost literally fell out of the bed. I mean, I think I literally fell out of the bed.
Okay, what did she say?
Well, she was talking about a knitting project that she was working on, and one of her coworkers asked her about it, and she called it she called it a Peter heater for her male friends.
Yes,
And then she says, in the U.S., you call it a wiener or a Johnson. And I just fell out of the bed. Carolyn, you gave us a good laugh. And I was just so pleased that you found us and that you would be watching and were engaging in some really funny comments. I even thought, I guess a jock sock would be another word for Peter heater. So that was really funny.
Yes.
Couple more here. Elizabeth Sampit, one of the things that she said in her comments that really struck me was she grew up in the Black church.
Okay.
And expressed that our channel has been a comfort to her. She was a neglected kid who had adopted aunts, and so she really felt connected to what we're doing. So we thank you, Elizabeth, for leaving such a vulnerable comment on our channel.
Yeah, and that's something that has amazed me. The number of people who have been really open with what they share in the comments makes me feel, well, it was really an unexpected, I think, surprise, an unexpected benefit of our channel, because I didn't anticipate that. And it's an honor, and I feel very, well, I feel humble, but I feel like I've got this really, not fragile egg that we're carrying, but I just feel like this is a space that really deserves protecting. Yeah.
I would agree 100%. And I think a couple more of these comments would reflect what you're saying. Janet, not this one though. Janet, is it Hagopian? I think that's how you would pronounce it. Forgive me if I've mispronounced your name. She says she knits and spins, and now she's knitting her hand spun, and her skills prepare her for the apocalypse.
Well, you know, there is a doomsday clock that is the closest to zero that it's ever been.
Well, so she's got some skills, and wherever she's gonna be, I want to be. So.
Right.
Linda Hamilton asked if we were sure we hadn't had a drink before recording. A few of you asked that, but she also said that knitting has taught her patience and that housework can wait. And I said, you know what? We'll drink
Cheers to that.
Housework can wait.
Always.
Always, all the time. Loved that one. Just two more. Kim Alley said knitting through her grief after the loss of her daughter. And to your point just a minute ago, it's been really a very common theme, this vulnerability that our folks our KnitShits have shared. A lot of folks have talked about losing husbands, losing children, losing parents, and how knitting has really gotten them through that. And I think you even shared picking up the needles after burying a good friend of ours several years ago. So it made me think about how we address our stress and how we deal with the things that may be challenging in our lives. We talk it out, we think it out, we stress out, we map it out, we knit it out, or we crochet it out. And so that's a way we can live through some of these challenging and difficult moments. So I just wanted to reflect that. And then lastly, Philip Marsh's comment. I just love how he just basically made sure we knew he was here. He said, Philip here, you're a little shit.
All right, little shit.
Philip here, your little shit. He's from Oregon, so I love that. So that's our KnitShits. That's some of what you all are saying and talking about, and keep it coming as we continue this journey with you.
Absolutely. Thank you. We see you.
We see you.
See you.
We see you. All right, so we're going to wrap this Black History Month episode up with a statement that you are going to finish. And the statement is, I'm really proud of myself for blank. Or I'm really proud of myself because of fill in the blank.
Ooh, that's deep, y'all. I'm really proud of myself for so many things. So I haven't shared with the KnitShits that I do feel, I've shared that I feel anxious sometimes, but I have been diagnosed with anxiety, and so have been on medication for about the past 4 months, and that has really helped me.
Oh, good.
So I'm proud of myself for going to the doctor to see about that, because it was really causing some issues. So I'm proud of myself for that. I'm proud of myself for going to the doctors in general.
Yeah.
I had mentioned maybe on Instagram to go get your boobies checked. I know you had mentioned it on the last episode or the episode before that, because you had recently had your mammogram.
Yeah.
Well, I'm embarrassed to admit that it had been a number of years since I'd had a mammogram. And so I had a mammogram at the end of the year, and there was a little bit of a... They found something. And so just before I went to New York, I went to have a sonogram on that. And the good news is that it's nothing major. It's a cyst, so something that we can deal with, thank goodness, because I know that many people are not as fortunate.
Right.
And so I'm happy about that. I've got another medical issue that I'm dealing with, and that will soon be resolved as well. So I'm proud of myself for self-care. That's really what that is, self-care. And making sure that I take good care of myself, because if I don't take care of myself, I can't take care of others. So I'm proud of myself for those things. And some other stuff too, but yeah, for those.
I'm proud of you for that too.
Yeah.
And you know, I have about 6 colleagues who are all battling some form of breast cancer. 6.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So, so I'm proud of you for taking care of that. I'm proud of us for doing this.
Yes.
This pushed both of us out of our comfort zones. And so I'm really proud of us for this. And the other thing, and like you, there are a lot of things I think I'm proud of myself for, but the thing that comes to mind, that I'm so proud of myself for finally understanding the difference between an Instagram post and an Instagram story. I did not know the difference. Peaches is always, I'm posting a story, I'm doing a thing, I'm doing the thing. And I'm just like, what is she doing? And I don't want to ask her again, because I just don't want to ask her again, because I've asked her a few times. So I was like, let me look it up for myself. And I know the difference. Yeah, I'm so proud of myself for that. What are you proud of yourself for? Tell us.
Tell us in the comments.
Tell us.
Curious minds want to know.
Yes, yes.
And we want to be able to support you too.
We want to be proud of you for the things that you're proud of yourself for.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think with that concludes episode
6. Two Sisters
Knittin' Talkin' Shit.
Bye.